What is good, Pistons fans? Here to recap some of the last two games for the Detroit Pistons. So on Thursday they knocked off the Washington Wizards, but on Wednesday they fell to the Portland Trailblazers. So just some overall thoughts. First of all, let's talk about Hamidou Diallo. Okay, man, like that man is a beast. He was everything that Josh Jackson was trying to be before. I will talk about the Wizards game, but before the Wizards game, because Jackson was in kind of a slump. So Hamidou Diallo is just so efficient, and the shot looks nice. He's like athletic, but he doesn't like push it. He's like kind of a slow athletic where he'll only attack it if he sees an open lane, and it's just so smooth to see. It reminds me of like a Tobias when Tobias Harris first came to Detroit. Obviously, Tobias Harris isn't as athletic as Diallo, but like when Tobias Harris came to Detroit, he just had something about him that was so smooth. That's what's happening with Hamidou. Like every shot, like when it goes in, like it's not bouncing in. That boy's just swishing straight in. So props to Hamidou Diallo. I've been really impressed with what I've seen, and I can see why we want to make him part of our core because the kid is a talented player. I think it's only like a matter of time till he gets the starting nod. Now, I did just mention that Hamidou Diallo is like a more efficient Josh Jackson. So let's talk about Jackson. He bounced back huge on Wednesday with a 31-point game. I think it was just like he first got the nice tomahawk dunk. He had like floater, and then he got that first three. And once he got the three going, I think everything else just came to him. So it's really good to see Josh Jackson just succeed because he's been in a slump, like a slump. He hasn't really done much in like the last 3 months. I think his last good game was against the Lakers. Yeah, it was against the Lakers when he had like 28 points. Ever since then, he's been shooting terrible. He's inefficient, and I don't know. He struggles as a player, but I feel like it's really good for him to get his confidence back up. Now, like the main thing that I really wanted to talk about though was like the tanking battle. So the Pistons are currently third right now. Houston's 2, Minnesota's 1, and we have Orlando and Cleveland coming up too. So luckily Orlando did win while the Pistons won, but fans, we gotta. It's kind of weird and it's not as intuitive, but you may want to start rooting for the Pistons to actually lose some of these games, especially games against bad teams. So we have a game against the Oklahoma City Thunder coming up. It may be worth it to just root for the Thunder to win because this tanking thing is real. Like the Pistons need a top 3 odds to get the pick. Now I know people say the draft lottery odds will change, but you still want to have the highest chance to get that number 1 pick, and also there is a big plus with getting the worst overall record because you are guaranteed a top 5 pick. And as we've seen, there are 5 basically stars, or what people classify as stars in this draft. Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs, and Jonathan Kuminga. So you want to get one of those 5 players, and the worst record in the league is guaranteed to get one of those players. So that's why that Minnesota, we're trying to get in that Minnesota range, and I don't know if we'll be able to catch them. It kind of comes back to whether D'Angelo Russell for them gets healthy. And I do think like teams like the Rockets and the Timberwolves do have the players to win. I mean, the Rockets have John Wall, Christian Wood. I think they'll be able to squeeze out a couple wins. I feel so bad for Christian Wood. Every team he goes on that he balls out, they just end up being absolutely trash. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, yeah, like I said, if D'Lo comes back. But yeah, it's up to the Pistons to really see what they can do and see if they can maybe start, resting players. I really think we should start considering resting players. Like when we've been doing it with Wayne Ellington, but I'm talking players even like Jeremy Grant, for his health, honestly, because Jeremy Grant, like, he scares fans, and I feel like, I don't know if it's good for him to just put his body on the line on a game that's like meaningless. We're not going to the playoffs. Like, yeah, it's kind of scary, and you don't want him to go out with the season-ending injury that could have just been prevented with him resting. So I definitely think Grant is maybe a player you want to consider resting. Some other vets, maybe Corey Joseph. I do think the Corey Joseph situation gets a little weirder once Killian Hayes comes back, and continue, maybe even Mason Plumlee too. Maybe get Plumlee if you have Tyler Cook and you trust him as a center. Maybe you could do that, although I don't think Plumlee's like the biggest one. I think it's definitely Grant you have to consider, but yeah. So with the Pistons though, they have their next upcoming 6 games. They are pretty tough. So they have the Knicks, and then they have the Thunder. And I believe it's just the West road trip, so they're going. I mean, the Thunder, the Nuggets, they play the Clippers, the Kings, and the Trailblazers. So hopefully, let's hopefully pray that's like 5 losses, and we can really just get this tanking thing. Like, I never am a fan of tanking. I never was a fan for it, but it's real. I feel like our team is a little bit too good, and it is like kind of sad. We don't want to see this season that we were so bad and just get wasted with another 7th overall pick. Like, I feel like the Pistons, this franchise, needs someone that's in the top 5. I mean, it's been so long. We've always been a middling franchise, and we finally have a GM who's like capable and can identify talent. And I'm perfectly fine with Troy Weaver identifying talent in the later picks. So like Scotty Barnes from Florida State, like he can get those talented players. But I feel like having a top 5 pick will really cement him and give him like a better catalog of players to choose from. Because I feel like I look at players like Suggs who fits that tough-mindedness attitude for Detroit, or even someone like Evan Mobley who fits like the wingspan type. So we'll see what happens with the draft. But yeah, guys, just want to give my thoughts on the Pistons as of right now. And yeah, we'll be back to recap, or I'll at least try to be back to recap the Knicks, and if not, maybe the Thunder. I'll try to get these videos out as soon as I can. But other than that, guys, take care. Have a great night, a great day, and peace.